What's up, dudes? This is not going to be like such an exciting video besides this donut, but for the most part I just want to talk to you guys about I just want to talk to you guys about how I accomplished this build and stuff. Just share some knowledge. It's going to be more of like a talking video. I just did that donut because, you know, I had to get in the spirit of like making a video. Because sometimes I'd just be like, monologue. But after a donut, bro, the blood be pumping. So basically, I just want to talk to you guys about how this happened. Knowledge that I acquired because I did learn a lot to make this happen. And the budget that I did have, because I had a budget of $4,000 and I kind of went over budget twice. I'll tell you more about that later. Some tips to go about building a car just in case someone like you guys want to do it. So I got a booklet here because your boy got ADHD and I always like forget shit. I lose focus, get off track. So this booklet's going to help us stay on track. In the beginning of this build, I had numbers and it was really going great. But stuff that I had to buy in person, such as like the tranny, the wheels, tires, all that stuff, I didn't keep account for because it was just like, yo, bro, here goes the cash. Let me get those parts, throw them on the car, live happily ever after. For the most part, I didn't document everything, but I did document like everything I bought online. So I have those numbers and just a rough estimate how much the car cost me. It's a hot one today, so I think I'm gonna just go in the shade. All right, now that we're in the shade and we chilling, let me go ahead and tell you guys some more about the car. So if you're new around here and you're not subscribed, go ahead and subscribe because we have family, we be chilling, we all have shit boxes. If you don't have a shit box, you don't fall in that category, you still should subscribe because one day the car would be clean. It's just I'm literally starting from the bottom and making my way up here. And if you already subscribed, go ahead and like the video. It helps your brother out a lot. Moving on, let's open up the booklet of information. All right, I got a couple questions here to stay on focus. What car and what I did. If you don't know, it's a 1990 E30 S52 swap. It started life as an M20 automatic. I chose a sedan because I wanted to do a 546 speed, like a miniature E34 540. That was like a little bit too much for me. I probably would have took way longer. It would have been way more money. I didn't like the fact that it's going to be boosterless, so I wanted to throw hydro boosters. So then I needed a parts car. So then I bought a parts car, but it was like I couldn't bring myself to part it out because I love E34 so much, so I dug myself in a bigger hole. We won't get too deep, but all these videos are on my channel, so you literally can see that white 540 I highly regret buying. Elias, you should have sold me that shit for like 200 bucks. I thought we were homies. So yeah, it all started because I kind of had two motors. I bought a E36 M3. You guys can see that video too. Ended up parting it out because a guy offered me the whole front end for $1,500 and no one wanted to buy it because it was kind of sketchy. Like it had backup fees, it didn't have a title, had lien paperwork, and I totally understand. Shock tower was blown too, but I ended up fixing it and then parting it out. But I had two motors. I had a V8 and I had an S52. The V8 didn't have a wiring harness, so I was going to need way more parts to do that build. So that's why I went S52. Another reason why I went S52 is because there's so much information on the internet about this swap. The swap is so common. Everybody and their mama have already done it. I mean, I'm kind of late, but it is what it is. I finally have it done. And I want to experience like the overhypeness of this build. All right, so another question I wrote down is why an E30? Honestly, I don't know why E30. I'm an E34 guy. I'm just going to be truthful to my homies out there. I kind of always wanted an E30. Like my pops had an E30, a bronze one, coupe. And I went to follow the steps, you know, for my first car. It was out of the budget. My mom and dad didn't have enough money to buy me a car, so I bought my first car with financial aid. Shout out to the government, shout out to the tax-paying people. So for my first car, I kind of wanted an E30, but the prices of them are just higher than E34s. The E34 is an underdog. The E30, everybody knows them. They look cute, so the prices are higher. I couldn't really afford it with financial aid, so my uncle was selling the E34, and I was like sold. I mean, I wasn't really sold because you know how like the pedal travel in a 525 automatic is kind of sluggish. I drove it and I was like, what the hell is this? But after like high speeds and cruising, it's a really good car. And I'm looking at it from the back, like the butt of the E34 sold me. And that's how I got E34. And the fact that I'm such a loyal and clingy dude, I held on to those bitches and I never let go. All right, moving on. How much does this cost? Numbers. Let's talk numbers. I don't really like talking about numbers because I start questioning my life. One thing about numbers, they don't lie. So if I really focus on numbers, I probably would just quit everything and just stop. I kind of like to believe money comes and goes and we're all going to die, so I'm just trying to have fun while I can. So with that being said, I don't try to pay attention to the numbers that much, but I'll give you guys some advice from Financial Stash. Growing up, right, I didn't know this, but if you're very organized and you keep track of your numbers, it's really good because you're able to call your losses early instead of digging yourself in a big hole. Like, I mean, we all go into debt for building these cars, but if you keep your numbers on track, it's easier to get out of debt pretty quickly. Keep track of your numbers. This is really good because numbers don't lie, and you're able to make better financial decisions. Any wise human being would tell you, like, old project BMWs is not the way to go for financial moves. So let me tell you how much. I did a rough estimate of where I'm at with this car. Just in the motor, when I was like resealing the motor, showing the motor some love, it was like $2,000. And then I bought a trans for another $300. Then I bought coilovers for $400. Then I bought tires and wheels and roof rack and tie rods and all this kind of stuff. It kind of all came up to around, I want to say anywhere from low sevens, like 7,500 to 9,000. Like I said, I don't want to know the actual numbers, so I'm sorry I can't provide that information to you. Maybe in the future when I have enough dough and I can look at that money that I'm wasting, I'll tell you. But as of right now, it's anywhere between 75 to 9,000. Like, even thinking about those numbers and realizing that I don't have that cash and I'm still broke kind of makes me sad. But like, in the day, I got a cool car. Let me hop in the booklet information because I'm already losing track. Was it worth it? Oh, this is another banger. No. Yes and no. And let me tell you some more. It wasn't worth it because, like, if we're talking about the best bang for your buck, you can do way more shit for like $75,000 to $8,000. I mean, that was including the car because, you know, I traded my car for this car, so I didn't buy the car. I already had the motor, so like, there's moves that I made. And if y'all on a budget like I am, it's possible because I did it. Y'all could do it too. There's just some kind of tricks that you need to have or some kind of loops that you need to jump through that I'll tell you later on. But was it worth it? 100% honestly, nah. With this bread that I spend, I could have built like a pretty sick ass car. But then again, it was worth it because the S52 inside of E30, it feels like the car should have had that motor from factory. This combination is key. Like, if you're building an autocross car, I mean, even drifting, like, we took it drifting and this baby is quick. It's a quick ass car. But the reason why I say it's not worth it because there's this motor, like, you know, it's called like an M52 B28, and it's damn near like an S52, but just not as expensive as an S52. I see prices for S52s anywhere from $2,500 and up, and that's just like motor and wiring harness. You still gotta find a trans and all that. S52 is kind of like BMW already stroked it out to this like maximum capability. Shout out to Dave for teaching me that information. So it's not really a motor you want to boost and all that. It has thinner cylinder walls than the M52. It's more information on that later. But yeah, if you guys consider doing a build, just weigh your options because there's a lot of shit out there. Just keep seeking information, do some research before you jump into a deep ass hole, a rabbit hole. Last question. What would I do differently? Like I said, I'll probably do a turbo build M52. That would be sick, dude. And after spending like, I mean, don't get me wrong, the car is quick, right? But after like a week of owning the car, I'm kind of used to how quick it is. I mean, I still get surprised some days. I'm like, God damn, this car's fast. But with like a turbo build and with $9,000 out of my short ass pockets, even if the turbo build ran me like $12,000, I'd rather wait longer and more money to make it really, really worth it at the end. Like, as of right now, this car is cool, but it ain't forced induction cool. Probably won't do another E30. And if I do it, these are the things I would do differently. This is coming again from Financial Stash. Make sure you choose a cleaner chassis, just because like it's really hard to break even or even make dough with these cars. Like, playing with old shitbox BMWs, project cars, it's not a good financial move. But if you want to even have hopes to make it like profitable, make sure you choose cleaner chassis. Maybe even buy a car that's already like built, lowered, you know, rims, and all you got to do is a motor swap or a turbo build. and then you're good to go, because that raises the value that much higher. Like, imagine this car was that much pretty. This is the prettiest car I own, don't get me wrong, but just imagine it was like no dings, no dents, one solid color, no clear coat peeling, some legit bore bits. Like, this car would probably be worth some pretty pennies on the dollar. I'm trying to think if that was everything. There's some tips that I know if you're on a budget to help you out. Some of the things I highly recommend is to actually buy a whole parts car for a good deal, just because you won't have to buy like a shitload of parts. You're able to reuse a lot, and it saves you bread, man. Big shout out to my homies, Dave, Kyle, Stone, Duck. Big shout out to y'all. Big shout out to my mama. Thank you, man, for always supporting me, mama. Love you. But without those people, it wouldn't be possible. Like, the homies hooked me up with so many parts that really saved the budget. But I got blessed. I got blessed from my homies to build this car. So shout out to y'all for showing me the love. I got a couple IOUs. I'll be back. Yeah, so I think that's about it. If I forgot anything, go ahead and comment below. Like the video if you haven't made it this far. Subscribe if you're already not. And yeah, S52 E30. Oh, let me go ahead and talk about this. I plan to raffle this car off. I know I'm probably gonna live in regret. A lot of things I do, I live in regret. I got a lot of mixed feelings about what I do in life. But with that being said, I'm kind of like a hoarder, and I can't really let things go. So the next thing in my life is to raffle off the cars. So this car's first. Yeah, that's the thing coming soon. I think it will benefit the channel. It'll benefit someone that wins, and everybody's happy. So just stick around for that information. It'll be later on in the video. I'm just trying to like dial it in and actually fix a couple other parts, because yes, I am like $8,000 deep, $9,000 deep, but I still need to fix more stuff. And there's even more stuff that I need to fix, but I'm trying not to think about it too much, because I don't want to get depressed and start crying and just go on hiatus. But for the most part, I am out. I don't want to make it a super long video, because talking videos get kind of boring. And yeah, you guys know I keep it pretty like real. I try to keep it real, show you guys everything. I should hide my flaws, because that will probably make me cooler. But for the most part, thanks for watching. Love y'all. Peace from the Middle East, and I'm out. See you guys next video. Got a couple ride-alongs and drifting. Should be fun. Alright. Fun fact, I shot this video like 4 times because I'm just not organized. And I hope like me being in the tree wasn't too dark. We'll see. God damn it.